Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to Hockenheim for the 6th race of the 2019 Euroformula Open season. We're here at the home of the German Grand Prix, wrapping up what has been a very busy 8 or 9 days for the cars in the Euroformula Open. Weeks ago they were on the sodden streets of Po. Today we have got beautiful late May sunshine, sun beating down really for the first time this weekend. Ideal conditions to go racing, and we have got a thrilling 19 laps in prospect. The pit lane just opening and the cars about to head out to the grid, and it is going to be headed by Marino Sato, who was victorious yesterday from pole position, and he has qualified on pole once more this morning, although it was a very close battle for pole position with his Team Motorpark teammates Yuki Tsunoda, Liam Lawson and Julian Hanses. Doesn't mean there isn't a lot of battling going on behind as we have a look at Cameron Dass, one of the two Fortet runners in the American, who will line up in 11th position, looking to press on and add to his points tally. He's been in the points for all of the last 3 races, so he'll hope to make it 4 in a row, and his Australian teammate Callum Williams as well. He's just had one 7th place finish inside the top 10 this year, but an opportunity this afternoon to add to that. So heading down straight there, the first car we see is the Red Bull back car of Liam Lawson. Lawson, who comes into today 2nd in the championship. He's had 2 race victories already this season, but a frustrating day yesterday where he was running in 2nd position, pursuing Marino Sato to challenge for victory when his leg support came loose in the cockpit as he was heading round turn 1. That pitched him into a spin. It meant that Jack Doohan was able to get back past him into 2nd position. So Lawson finishing a slightly frustrated 3rd. It means that Marino Sato has got a slender points lead over Lawson heading into this afternoon's race. Hockenheim circuit, a new addition to the calendar for the Euroformula Open for 2019, the first time that the cars and the championship has raced here. As Lawson heads on towards the grid. And this weekend has seen a real ebb and flow of the different fortunes of the various teams in the championship on Friday, and then in qualifying yesterday it was really Double R Racing who were looking strongest, but then Team Motorpark have hit on a sweet spot setup, and they are very much the team to beat. Here is the pole sitter then, Marino Sato, converted beautifully yesterday as the lights went out, and has thereafter been pretty much unheaded this weekend. He left it till very late in the qualifying session this morning, but it was enough for him to surge into another pole. The Japanese driver also having 2 victories to his name this season, and he has scored points in every single race this year. His worst result was a 6th place finish in race 2 in Po. So a very busy paddock this weekend, and an opportunity potentially to see some of the Formula 1 stars of the future in the Euroformula Open this afternoon. Also some of the IndyCar stars of the future, and we should, on this day of the Indianapolis 500, pass on our best wishes and good luck to Euroformula Open alumni Ed Jones and Colton Herter, who will be taking part in the Indianapolis 500 later on this evening. Drivers just focusing on the job ahead, and the grid beginning to form up. 1 or 2 cars still yet to make it into their grid positions. Of the non-Team Motorpark runners, the foremost amongst them is Lucas Dunner, qualifying 5th for Teo Martin Motorsport, the Austrian, who's currently 3rd in the championship standings, and another driver who's been in the points every single race this season. Yesterday was actually his lowest finish of this season to date, when he finished in 7th place. So there is pole sitter Marino Sato, shielding himself underneath the Michelin umbrella. Alongside him on the front row of the grid then Yuki Tsunoda, and Tsunoda 4th in the championship. His frustration has been when the lights go out. He spun up his rear tyres yesterday, and that cost him a lot of places. He really had to fight his way back through the pack to 4th. Alongside, and on the second row. Lining up in third place is Liam Lawson. And we've already talked about Lawson's adventures yesterday. And then Julian Hans says the fourth of the Team Motorpark runners lining up in fourth on the grid. And the German just one podium to his name this year. That came finishing second in race one in Po. So he's sixth in the standings. Lucas Dunner for Teo Martin Motorsport, fifth on the grid. Now, can he, as the lights go out, take the challenge to the podium fight, as he was able to do very successfully in Paul Ricard? Linus Lundqvist then for Double R Racing lines up in sixth place, and Lundqvist finishing in fifth yesterday, is fifth in the championship, and he is hoping to press on for his first podium of the season, which is what was achieved in race one by Jack Doohan. Runner-up yesterday. Really impressive drive from Doohan. And he also finished as the top rookie as well. Eighth on the grid then, Aldo Fastante for Teo Martin Motorsport. And Fastante currently 15th in the championship. He's had lots of pace this weekend. He'll be hoping that he can convert that into a decent points finish. It's an all-Carlin row 5. Christian Hahn, who was in the thick of the action yesterday, lines up in ninth position. And then he is going to be pursued by teammate Nikolai Kjærgaard, who rounds out the top 10. Eleventh on the grid for the American Cameron Dass, and he will be looking to see if he can improve on the sixth place that he got in race one in Po, his best result of the season. Tepe Notori lines up in 12th, and Notori showing good pace at times during qualifying this morning, but he has got a fair amount of work to do this afternoon on a track where overtaking is possible, if tricky. So that's what the sharp end of the grid looks like. I'm joined, as ever, by Elliot Wood, which we'll say hi to Elliot in a minute after we look back at the best of yesterday's race. It was Marino Sato who led away from pole position as Yuki Tsunoda spun up and got swamped by the field as they charged into turn one. They all made it cleanly through. And the early stages were marked by plenty of battling, not least between Christian Hahn and Julian Hans. There's also Yuki Tsunoda going wheel to wheel with Linus Lundqvist. On that occasion, Lundqvist able to keep Japanese driver behind him. Christian Hahn was pretty much the focal point for every dice in the race. This one with Kjærgaard and Billy Munger and Tepe Notori also enjoying an inter-Carlin team battle. Eventually it was Notori who would prevail over Munger after swooping round the outside, going through turn 8. Front of the field though, Marino Sato was largely unchallenged for the afternoon. He did the gentleman's set, pole position, fastest lap, and the race win to the delight of Team Motorpark, pursued home by Jack Doohan and Liam Lawson. So Elliot, that was yesterday's race, and Marino Sato once more on pole for this afternoon.
Very confident running qualifying he had, and top 4 cars, all Motorpark cars. They've obviously got something right in qualifying. Whether that setup's right for the race, though, we'll see.
Well, that's what we saw yesterday, wasn't it? That some of the teams' qualifying trim just wasn't enough to sustain the cars throughout the course of the race. It's a 19-lap race here at Hockenheim, and it's a track that's very difficult. And when we talk to get the cars set up for, so we're just a couple of moments away from the start of the 6th race of the Euroformula Open season here in Hockenheim. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Here then is how they're going to line up with Marino Sato and Yuki Tsunoda on the front row. Then row 2, Liam Lawson and Julian Hans. So Team Motorpark locking out the top 4 places. Teo Martin Motorsport and Lucas Dunner in 5th, ahead of Linus Lundqvist. Then Jack Doohan, Lundqvist Double R teammate, in 7th, alongside Aldo Fastante. It's an all-Carlin row 5, Christian Hahn and Nikolai Kjærgaard. And then on row 6, Cameron Dass ahead of Tepe Notori. Row 7, Guilherme Samaya from Billy Munger, with then Callan Williams and Rui Andrade to complete the field. They are about to be shown the 15-second board. Then it will be the green flag lap and the last chance to put a little bit of temperature into the Michelin tyre that they all run with. And the grid fully clear, the 15-second board shown. The team's now retreating to the pit boxes. Chance for the spectators to enjoy the blast of the cars as they set off on the formation lap. So it's a 4.5 kilometre challenge, the Hockenheim circuit, and a mixture of long straights, a couple of high-speed corners like turn 1, but also some very tight turns, the hairpin at turn 6, and then the motordrome section, which makes up the third sector of the lap. And that means getting the balance of the setup of the car is very tricky. And when we talk about the setup, these are the things on the car, although they've all got essentially identical to Lara F312 chassis, that the teams can adjust. So that's the front wings, the rear wings, roll bar settings, and the like to, Elliot, get the car to the driver's taste, but also to extract the peak performance from it.
That is indeed true. The variety of corners here at Hockenheim means it's a very difficult compromise to make between a car that's going to be stable through the high-speed corners like turn 1 and one that will be very good for the driver through the latter part of the lap where we have the stadium section. Cars have got about half the formation lap to go. Probably going to see here that Marino Sato is going to bunch him up because he's not going to be sat on the grid for too long with his engine running. And his teammate alongside him, Yuki Tsunoda, had a very poor start yesterday and cost a few positions, and that was essentially what helped Sato win the race.
And the worrying thing if you're Yuki Tsunoda is that was from the clean side of the grid. Today he starts from the dirty side of the grid, which is the inside of the track, and it's known as the dirty side of the grid because generally the cars won't go along that side of the start and finish straight except for the start of the race, so it's not quite as rubbered in and as clean as some of the other sections of the circuit. The field now swinging in through turn 11. This brings them into what's known as the motordrome section, which is essentially this layout constructed back in 1965 as part of turning the Hockenheimring into a permanent circuit, and then it survived the remodelling of the track over the winter of 2001, which gave us the layout really since the 2002 season that we're racing on this weekend. What's Jack doing there for Double R Racing? Just picking his way through, trying to get some heat into the tyres. And what we saw yesterday, Elliot, is you can pass here, but the start is all important.
Indeed, and going through turn 1, you want to have as wide an entry as possible to hit that apex. So drivers who are on the dirty side of the grid are almost double disadvantaged here, where they're going to have to somehow move across to the left to make sure they can make turn 1 cleanly. And
it's not the longest sprint towards turn 1 either compared to some of the other circuits that we race on through the course of the season. There's Guillaume Samaya and Billy Munger about to peel into their marks. Then Rui Andrade and Callum Williams just behind them. Nothing more that the teams can do now than watch the monitors as we get the green flag signalled at the rear of the field. So it's eyes to the gantry. We're about to go racing for the 6th time this season, and away we go. And it's a very good start from Liam Lawson, also well away as Marino Sato, and Linus Lundqvist rocketing through, trying to split the Motor Park car and Lucas Dunner as they're all through turn 1. A couple of them run wide, but no contact as they head up towards the hairpin. It's Sato who has got the jump over Yuki Tsunoda. Then it's Liam Lawson, Julian Hanses and Linus Lundqvist. It's Lucas Dunner in the white-tail Martin car who slipped down a little bit as they sprint on out of turn 4 and towards the Parabolica for the first time. Plenty jostling for position in the midfield, and it's Liam Lawson who's in the tow here behind Yuki Tsunoda in the fight for second. Tsunoda just covers the inside line. Linus Lundqvist looks to the outside of Julian Hanses as well. Oh, and contact, that's Christian Hahn, who's come together with one of the Teo Martin motorsport cars. Also Cameron Das is part of that as well. And we've got one of the Motorpark cars as well that has gone out wide. I think that must be Julian Hanses. No, it's not. My mistake, misidentified that one, but we've got several cars caught up in that as Marino Sato leads the way. Coming towards the end of the second sector, it looks like it's Aldo Fastante again and Jack Doohan involved in that.
Yeah, an unfortunate instant there, it looks like at turn 6. There are yellow flags still being waved there, but hopefully the cars will have got going or been removed by marshals as the time the cars come round the next lap. Our leaders are about to cross the line for the end of the first lap. Marino Sato, we've got pictures of the instant.
Oh, and Linus Lundqvist running wide out of the final turn, and his front wing has scattered into hundreds of pieces, and so that is his race effectively ruined. So for Aldo Fastante, second race this weekend, turn 6, he's been involved in an incident. He's limping back to the pits as Guilherme Samaya looks to the inside of Tepe Notori. Christian Hahn has stopped and is out of his car. And as we watch the cars towards Parabolica, a very brave Marshall in front of our commentary box is going to retrieve what's left of Linus Lundqvist's front wing. Meanwhile, the challenge for the lead, and it's Yuki Tsunoda to the inside of Marino Sato. And just before the yellow flag, and Yuki Tsunoda has taken the lead of the race from Marino Sato, who was caught napping there a little bit as they went through the hairpin. Sato looking to fight back immediately, challenges the outside of his teammate into turn 8. Tsunoda boxes him out. There's nothing that Sato can do about that. Liam Lawson looking to join the scrap too as they sprint on towards turn 11. And it's Lawson who's not got a bad run here at all on Marino Sato, but nothing he can do about it. So here's another look at the start. Sato cleanly away. So was Tsunoda. Lawson made a quick start, but he couldn't jump his teammate. Linus Lundqvist hurtling into contention, but he couldn't really make as much ground as he would have wanted through turn 1. Another look. And this time, not a perfect getaway from Yuki Tsunoda, but it has served him well. There's the instant up at turn 6, and Fastante to the inside of Christian Hahn. He tags him. Doohan, I think, was already entangled with Hahn, and then Cameron Dass left with nowhere to go. And it's Hahn and Fastante who are the drivers who are effectively out of the running.
It does look like all the cars have got back to the pits. I think that's Billy Munger also entering the pits. We didn't see if, or is that Christian Hahn? That is Billy Munger, so we didn't see an incident involving him, but he's returned to the pit lane.
And now we've got to change for second because Liam Lawson has found his way past Marino Sato. So it is Tsunoda from Lawson, then Sato. And here's another look at it. It's exactly the same move as a lap ago. Liam Lawson just straight to the inside of Marino Sato into the hairpin. And that is most unusual as Linus Lundqvist is out of the car and stalking away. Whatever work is being done for Billy Munger has been completed. He's back running. And I just wonder, Elliot, if Sato might have a slight issue given that he's not defended his line into turn 6 2 laps in a row and he's lost 2 places.
He did have an issue in free practice too, which reduced his mileage. And at the start of qualifying and race 1 yesterday, he kind of had to use lap 1 as an installation lap to check everything was operating correctly. So this this problem may have reoccurred. Looking at the order, Callum Williams has jumped from 15th on the grid to 7th place. Huge jump for the Australian.
Yeah, he was one of the beneficiaries of that coming together up at the hairpin on the first lap. So the order is Yuki Tsunoda from Liam Lawson, then Marino Sato. Julian Hans is in 4th. In 5th place, it's Lucas Dunner. And Nikolai Kjærgaard up into 6th as Aldo Fastante clambers out of his slightly battered Teo Marti Motorsport car. Callum Williams in 7th, Tepe Notori 8th, Guilherme Samaya 9th, Rui Andrade 10th, and then Jack Doohan 11th from Cameron Dass and Billy Munger.
Interesting to see the cars at the back of the order. So Jack Doohan and Cameron Dass, who were involved in incidents earlier, they've just set the best sector 1s of the race so far.
And Doohan has got about 2 seconds to get onto terms with Rui Andrade and get back up into the points. But it's the leading quintet which are kind of running as a group. And then, although I say that, Yuki Tsunoda beginning to break away already from Liam Lawson. And Tsunoda, frustrated, I would imagine, not to have won a race so far this season. And looking to rectify that at the moment. Now here is what happened for Linus Lundqvist. And so he just rejoined the track after running wide. The lip at the end of the curb ripping his front wing apart.
Reminiscent of Daniel Ricciardo at the Australian Grand Prix earlier this year. At the front of the order, Billy Munger might be getting lapped soon because Yuki Tsunoda is closing in quite rapidly.
Yeah, hopefully nothing too seriously amiss with Billy's car. as Julian Hanses there in fourth, beginning to reel in his teammate Marino Sato. Now Sato has got the pink helmet, Hanses the blue one. Otherwise those two cars look very similar to each other. As Liam Lawson considering, or attempting rather, to reel in Yuki Tsunoda, and Lawson set the fastest lap of the race last time around, just a tenth of a second quicker than Tsunoda. He's 1.3 seconds adrift of his teammate. And what we've seen a couple of times this year, Elliot, is that Lawson, once he gets into the rhythm of a race, is really able to close up ground.
His race pace has probably been the strongest of the year so far, and he was very happy with his performance yesterday, despite his leg rest issue that we discussed in qualifying. The fact that he's going quick at the beginning of the race may mean he's using up his tyres a little too quickly, and he could come under pressure later on from his teammates.
I guess the only thing is, though, that he's not in traffic at the moment, so he's not got turbulent air from the car in front. Here's Lucas Dunner trying to stay on the back of the Team Motor Park train, and for the moment he's able to do that reasonably well, as it was Sato who was the quickest of anybody through the middle sector as they come through to complete the lap. Fastest lap for Yuki Tsunoda, and fractions, thousandth of a second quicker than Liam Lawson and Marino Sato.
They're closing in on Munger by 2 seconds per lap at this rate, so within about 4 or 5 laps we may see the lead battle having an extra element added to it.
Here's the battle for 8th and 9th then between Tepe Notori, the blue car with the fluorescent yellow piping, and Guilherme Samar in 9th position for Teo Martin Motorsport. They are in pursuit of Callum Williams for the Fortec team, and Williams in 7th place, still trying to stick with Nikolai Kjærgaard in 6th. So the leading quintet into the hairpin at turn 6. And as was the case in Paul Ricard, it's really Lucas Dunn who is able to keep the Team Motorpark runners honest, and he's sitting there behind Julian Hanses. And what we've seen a couple of times this year with Julian is that he has faded over the course of a race, and so Lucas Dunn might be aware of that, and will just try to force him to push a little bit harder than he'd want to, maybe use up the tyres a bit more, and then challenge later on.
Last weekend, Hanses did lead from the front in the Pau Grand Prix, so he did show that he could keep the pace honest when he was up front, but eventually his teammate Liam Lawson did catch him and an incident was involved, but there was an extra element of weather there, which did make things a little harder to read. The front runners are about to finish their 6th lap of the race, I believe. And we've got Tsunoda crossing the line. Another fastest lap, 1:33.429, 1.3 second gap to Lawson now, so it is eking out up front.
Marino Sato in pursuit as well, and those three leaders, there was only 0.06 of a second differential in their pace over the course of that last lap, and then Julian Hanses was about 0.6 of a second slower and actually gave away 0.3 to Lucas Dunner. And this is the challenge in the Euroformula Open, is these cars are so evenly matched, these drivers are so evenly matched as well, that 1/10 of a second can make a huge difference.
Yeah, 1/10 of a second could be, in qualifying, several positions on the grid. We do have normally at least 10 or 11 cars separated by just a second. But with such a long turn 5 here, parabolic curve, it means if you are within a second of the car in front, you could attempt to move.
Well, it'll be very interesting to hear from Marino Sato after the race about why he maybe didn't shut the door a little bit more vigorously for those 2 moves early on that saw him shuffle down into 3rd position. As there's Callum Williams in 7th place. If he stays where he is, that would match his best result of the year to date. As the Fortec team watch the monitors, Williams under no particular threat at the moment from Tepe Notori. So the driver who is upwardly mobile is Jack Doohan, and Doohan lapping at the same pace as the race leaders, 1:33.4 for Jack Doohan. And so he has the opportunity, if he can actually work his way through the traffic, of making up quite a lot of ground between now and the checkered flag, and he is not too far behind Tepe Notori. In fact, if we stay with this shot of Notori, just behind Notori's Samar, and then behind Samar, there you just saw his wheels, is Jack Doohan homing into view, and Doohan, another 1:33.4 from him. Now, this is Tepe Notori. They've got the rallycross here later in the year, and clearly he wants to drive, was showing off his drifting ability.
Indeed. Doohan's pace makes the tantalising prospect of what would have happened if Linus Lundqvist was still in this race, because Double R looked very strong in the early stages of yesterday's race. It did fade a little at the end, but the fact that Doohan's able to catch up with the guys in front at the moment suggests that we're in for an exciting race for Doohan.
Well, the more points that he can gather, it's all very congested, sort of from 6th downwards in the points, and this is a chance for Jack Doohan to make a little bit more ground in the championship. Meanwhile, Yuki Tsunoda has set another fast lap of the race. He now leads Liam Lawson by 1.5 seconds. So Lawson is going to have to gather his efforts a little bit to chase down Tsunoda. Marino Sato is still with them. And then Julian Hansen is being dropped, but not under immediate threat from Lucas Dunner. Here then is Tepe Notori, and Notori, his last lap was a 1:35.0, and that is maybe going to cause a little bit of concern for the Carlin team. Particularly as Jack Doohan, trying to chase them down, is in the 1:33.4 second bracket. So Callum Williams, Tepe Notori, Guilherme Samar, Jack Doohan. This is the fight essentially for 7th place.
The incident at turn 6 on lap 1 will be investigated after the race, so there's no positions that can be gained here from somebody getting a penalty. So these are fights for position till the flag.
Absolutely, and from the camera angle we could see, the main participants already suffered the consequences of that incident, and so the likelihood is they will take a trip to the stewards to be reminded that crashing is a discretionary activity, and that you can't necessarily win a 19-lap race on the 6th corner. As out of the hairpin, it's the DriveX team. Rui Andrade currently in 12th position, as the race leader Yuki Tsunoda heads into the Sachs curve once more. His lead over Liam Lawson is steadily growing, and for Tsunoda, he's had a couple of golden opportunities to take good results already this year, but his start let him down a little bit in Paul Ricard. Didn't help that he and Liam Lawson clattered into each other. Then his start cost him yesterday. Today, Tsunoda is leaving absolutely nothing to chance. And to an extent, Elliot, we probably could and should have seen this coming, given Yuki Tsunoda's race pace in race 1.
Yeah, he matched his teammate. In fact, in many of the races, he's been one of the fastest on pure pace, but just hasn't had the result at the end of the race. And he's very happy with the result he's got. I think we've got a battle about to begin for 7th place at the moment. Although Tepe Notori did make a mistake, he is relatively close to Callum Williams in front. And we've got Guilherme Samaya and Jack Doohan, who was involved in the incident on lap 1, closing in very quickly on the pair.
Meanwhile, Lucas Dunner is pursuing Julian Hanses through the Parabolica, up to the hairpin at turn 6. It's not quite close enough to challenge just yet, but as they come out of the hairpin, Dunner will just sit in the slipstream behind the German and let the motorpark car do the hard work of punching the hole through the air. Although, compared to yesterday, the breeze doesn't seem to be anywhere near as stiff as it was, and so that takes away a little bit of the opportunity for slipstreaming.
And Marino Sato's just set the fastest middle sector of the race. He's in 3rd place, trying to chase down teammate Liam Lawson. He's over a second behind at the moment, but if it is involved with traffic in front, he is visibly closer as he comes past our commentary box. He could be on Lawson's tail very soon.
So lots of battles coming together quite nicely as we just tip over the half-race distance. There's also been a change further down the order. Jack Doohan has moved ahead of Guilherme Samar, so that places him up into 9th. His next target is Tepe Notori. So the field, as they get into the rhythm of the race, all these gaps starting to fluctuate a little bit. And Lucas Dunner getting ever closer to Julian Hansen. The challenge being that the braking distance in these cars is so phenomenally short that you need to be almost alongside the driver as you hit the braking zone to challenge. So Yuki Tsunoda coming up to the tail of Billy Munger. Munger, of course, has been into the pit, so this isn't a pure pace thing for Billy. He's being reeled. He was essentially fed out a few seconds ahead of the race leaders, and they're now just beginning to chase him down.
what this could mean for Sonoda is when he gets slightly close to Billy Munger, he's going to have the effect of being in another car's wake, and that could age his tyres a little quicker.
What we just hope is that Billy Munger doesn't do a Jean-Pierre Jarier and decide that he wants to join the battle for the lead of the race, because whenever you come and lap people, that is always an opportunity if you're either looking to make a little bit of ground over the car you're defending from, or indeed to poach a position. And that will be in everybody's mind. But at the moment, Marino Sato, although he's closing on Liam Lawson, he's kind of in that invisible pocket of air, which is kind of the second immediately behind the car in front, where it's all the turbulent wake that he just can't quite drive his way through. Now, here's Jack Doohan right with Tepe Nattori. And Doohan, this is a remarkable recovery drive so far after his first lap adventures.
And Doohan has to be careful here, because he did say yesterday that as his pace got slower, he believed he should have been smoother earlier in the race. And if he wants to overtake Nattori, he's going to be braking later, being sharper on the steering, and that can take out a little more life out the tyres. So he's got to bide his time here.
So the Double R Racing team, they've lost, unfortunately, Linus Lundqvist. They have now got just the one car remaining in the form of Jack Doohan. Here's the race leader, Yuki Tsunoda, on his 12th of 19 laps. And Marino Sato edging towards Liam Lawson. Tsunoda at work. And there's quite a warm patch there, right in the middle of his tyres.
Yeah, but he managed to stay almost flat there. We didn't see much opposite lock. And Jack Doohan's just overtaken Tepe Nattori for 8th place there at the end of the Parabolica curve. So he'll be chasing Callum Williams now for 7th. Unless Nattori tries to get back past. Be a very brave move if he does.
But Tepe Nattori might fancy it. Jack Doohan would rather he didn't and just holds firm in his position. And now the next target for Doohan is his compatriot, Callum Williams.
Marino Sato's already taken 2 attempts out of Liam Lawson on this lap. And our leader, Yuki Tsunoda, is about to lap Billy Munger. He got very close, almost going into turn 1 there. Haven't seen it on our picture, but they've just gone past the commentary box.
Meanwhile, Doohan trying to pull away from Tepe Nattori. So, and he's managing to do that to reasonably good effect. Once he's past Callum Williams, then it's some 4 and a bit seconds to Nikolai Kjærgaard, and that's so possibly 7th, maybe as good as it can get from Jack Doohan, but he is pushing on. Here's another look at the manoeuvre into the hairpin, which is where we've seen pretty much all the passing this afternoon, and not an awful lot that Nattori could do to defend the place. So Team Motor Park watch from the pit wall. So Yuki Tsunoda leads the way already. Jack Doohan is right with Callum Williams, and he may even be close enough to challenge into the hairpin on this occasion. He's closed up to Williams through the Parabolica. Callum Williams has to move across to the wide line. Doohan to the inside. Williams sees him, tries to shut the door, but too late. And Jack Doohan up into 7th position. He's scythed through this group of cars. He's passed 3 cars in the past 3 laps, and now 7th place. He's got quite a lot of ground to make up for 6th position, but he's also got 6 or so laps to play with which to do so.
And looking at the battle for 2nd place at the moment, we've got Liam Lawson, who's stuck behind Billy Munger, but he's now got Marino Sato right on his tail, trying to take, and they're fighting for the title at the moment. They are the top 2 in the standings. Sato leads by 6 points, and they're both about to lap Munger. Munger's leaving it a little late on the pit straight, compromising Sato's entry slightly, so that would have helped Lawson there.
And here is that group of cars. So the race leader, Yuki Tsunoda. Then we've got Liam Lawson with Marino Sato just 3/4 of a second behind him. Sato taking a 10th out of Lawson last time around.
A few seconds behind them is Julian Hanses, the 4th motorsport car, and Lucas Dunner. They've been trading personal best sectors between one another for several laps now. The gap's still at around 8 tenths, so not sure if anything's going to happen there.
The challenge for Dunner is just trying to drive through that turbulent wake of Julian Hanses, as Marino Sato seems to be up with Liam Lawson now. This is Lawson through turn 1. Out of the curb, but absolutely committed. The car fully hooked up, and Sato really is with Liam Lawson, and this is as close as they've been since Lawson found his way past the Japanese driver in the early stages. So they're sprinting towards turn 11 now. as Lawson head down. And then Marino Sato, has he got the pace to challenge? And really, the key, Elliot, here is Sato setting up for the next few corners and then hopefully being able to draw alongside Lawson for every braking zone.
Yeah, and looking at...
Oh, Lawson's gone!
Lawson's already gone. I was about to say we need to look at their tyres there to see how much life's left in them, but Lawson's gone off. He's lost several places. He's almost behind Lucas Dunner, compromises entry into the final corner. That's down to 5th place for Liam Lawson. And that isn't the first time he's done that this season.
That's a disaster for Liam Lawson, and again...
Crabbing slightly as well, though, going through turn 1.
It is that I'm not convinced was entirely... Well, we will see. Lawson was under pressure from Sato. You never know as well, if you have a big spin like that, what happens. Here's another look at the end of it, and the car just breaking away from him on the way into the right hand at turn 15, and that's quite an unusual place to see these cars kicking around. All impassive in the Team Motor Park pit box at the moment, and now Lucas Dunner is really released to challenge Julian Hansers, and this an opportunity again to challenge for the podium. So that to the order means that Yuki Tsunoda still leads, of course. Marino Sato up to 2nd, Julian Hansers 3rd, Lucas Dunner in 4th, Liam Lawson down to 5th. And Lawson, he's not really running at the pace at all of Hansers or Lucas Dunner at the moment.
No, he's probably feeling his car again and seeing if there is an issue and if he can push it to the limit once again. But he's also got Billy Munger in the way at the moment. So come through the final sector of the lap. They're all quite closely matched. See if Munger's going to let Lawson pass, because Munger is a lapped car, either through the final few corners or as he's done on previous laps, down the pit straight.
The only other hypothesis possibly for that spin for Lawson, this is pure speculation as Callum Williams has been passed by Tapinatori, is that maybe Lawson just put a wheel on the curb on the approach to turn 15 and that pitched the car round. But Lawson now past Billy Munger.
Yeah, Munger let him through at the very end of the pit straight there. Well, Callum Williams got very loose through the final corner. He's now got one of the Teo Martin cars right behind him. So that would be Jorge Samaya for 9th place they'll be fighting over.
Meanwhile, Lucas Dunner is rather liking the idea of a 3rd trip to the podium this season, because he is tucked up right behind Julian Hansers. And is he going to be near enough to challenge? He just shows himself in the mirrors, all snatches a break. And I think Lucas Dunner may regret not just having gone for a little bit of a punt there, because he was right up with the German. Hopefully, for his sake, he's not flat-spotted a tyre. And this is what we've seen a couple of times, is that Hansers now just struggling a little bit for pace. He's about to slip into the 1:34 bracket, whereas Lucas Dunner has been consistently in the 1:33. So here's another look.
You wonder if that sharp direction change that we saw from Dunner there did cause that incident on the brakes, that he didn't have the car fully straight before he put his foot on the brake pedal.
Yeah, the team would not have been showering him with glory if he'd kicked that into a spin. And the challenge for Dunner as well is that he's been in this turbulent air for much of the race, and he was just a little bit offline on the exit of the Sachs curve, and that's what has opened up the gap ever so slightly as they flash through. Just 3 laps to go. And Marino Sato and Julian Hansers setting identical lap times to the nearest 1,000th of a second on the last time around.
Dunner is also pulling away from Liam Lawson, but further behind, Jack Doohan's closing in rapidly on Nikolai Kjærgaard. There's still 2 seconds between the pair at the moment, but it's around half a second every sector that he's closing in at the moment.
Yeah, Jack Doohan was a second quicker than Kjærgaard last time around, and so that is possibly going to change between now and the flag. As in the braking zone, again, Lucas Dunner trying to apply the pressure to Julian Hansers, and realistically, Lucas Dunner is going to get 1 shot at this, if at all. Hansers, the 2nd podium of the year, is on the table for him. But what I've been impressed with so far this year is the maturity from Lucas Dunner, because whereas others have been blindingly quick and possibly had a couple of rotational moments, Dunner has been very consistent, and even if he finishes where he in 4th, that's still another 12 points for his championship tally.
Yeah, but he was in the top 4 in every race prior to the first race of this weekend, where he finished 7th. But it'll be a return to the top 4 for him now, and it's a very consistent challenge. And Yuki Tsunoda crosses the line. I believe he has 2 laps to go now, and he's got just over 4 seconds in hand to Marino Sato. He's extended that gap slightly. It's 4 tenths faster on the last lap. And we're seeing Lawson and Hanses and Dunner, just behind, and they're split by 8 tenths. So that's kind of gap Hanses and Dunner have had for basically the whole race.
It is, and it's a gap that just keeps flipping up and down. Meanwhile, here is Nikolai Kjærgaard as we watch him. Where is Jack Doohan? There is another great battle going on behind, because Cameron Dass has actually reeled right in onto the tail of Guilherme Samaya, Tepe Notori and Callum Williams. For Jack Doohan, the exam question is 1.4 seconds over 2 laps. And the rate of capture suggests that that's on the cards. 1.1 seconds for 3 laps in a row. And it's only now, on that last lap, that Kjærgaard has responded a little bit and stemmed the loss.
I think Doohan actually made a mistake coming out of turn 1, because he's lost a second in that first sector. We're seeing the picture now, the battle for 9th, 10th, 11th, and Cameron Dass could force a move on Guilherme Samaya. He's looking at the outside at the end parabolic, and there's damage on his nose, so he may have tried a move at turn 1 earlier.
That was the contact he had with Aldo Festante on the first lap that delayed him, where he just tapped into Festante's side pod, but that will have not made life easy for the Fortec car to cut through the turbulent weight. This is the fight for the final of the points positions, as the rest of the Yuki Tsunoda's just passed us to go into the last lap of the race. And no change immediately likely for the podium. We're watching the best battle in the field at the moment as Cameron Dass rides the curbs, pursues Guilherme Samaya. Samaya in turn may still fancy his chance of nipping clear of Callum Williams. As they swing out of the final corner here. Meanwhile, is Yuki Tsunoda. He made that move on Marino Sato early on. And thereafter, he has been able to stretch clear at the front of the field. Tsunoda, he's had the 2nd place, he's had a 3rd place already this year. He is now on the cusp of scoring his first victory. So accelerates out of turns 9 and 10. On to the back stretch towards turn 11, back into the Motordrome section of the track. Just a few corners to go here for Yuki Tsunoda. And this will make him the 4th winner that we've had in the Euroformula Open in 6 races so far in 2019, as Tsunoda gets the power down and accelerates out of the final corner. The checker flag is poised, ready and waiting, and it's the win for Yuki Tsunoda and Team Motorpark, followed home by Marino Sato, and then Julian Hanses to complete the rostrum just ahead of Lucas Dunner and Liam Lawson home in 5th position. What about the battles behind? Well, Nikolai Kjærgaard is going to hold on for 6th. Jack Doohan, though, a great recovery drive through the field, and he takes 7th place. And Tepe Notori into 8th, ahead of Callum Williams and Cameron Dass. So Dass ahead of Guilherme Samaya on the last lap of the race to snatch the final point position. And then we're just waiting for Rui Andrade to come home in 12th place. For Yuki Tsunoda, however, that was a job very well done, as he returns to the pits and Parc Fermé to celebrate his first victory of the year. He's the 3rd of the Team Motorpark drivers to have scored a win. So let's have a look at the final classification then. Yuki Tsunoda takes the victory from Marino Sato. Julian Hanses makes it a clean sweep for Team Motorpark. Lucas Dunner in 4th, Liam Lawson 5th, and the 2nd rookie ahead of Nikolai Kjærgaard, who completes the rookie podium. Jack Doohan finishing in 7th from Tepe Notori, and then Callum Williams and Cameron Dass both in the points for Fortec. Guilherme Samaya demoted on the last lap. Rui Andrade Then in 12th, Billy Munger, a troubled race for 13th. Linus Lundqvist, Aldo Festante and Christian Hahn, all involved in early adventures and therefore out of the running. So that means that Marino Sato now leads the championship 15 points clear of Liam Lawson. Yuki Tsunoda moves up to 3rd in the points with Lucas Dunner in solid 4th. Julian Hanses in 5th from Linus Lundqvist. Nikolai Kiergaard, Jack Doohan consistently racking up the points over the course of the weekend. So Yuki Tsunoda rolls down pit lane, comes to a halt, shuts his car off and gets ready to celebrate. And he really enjoyed that. Applause from the Team Motor Park mechanics. Congratulations from the engineers. And also to his compatriot and teammate Marino Sato. So Team Motor Park, another successful afternoon in the Euroformula Open. So another look at the moment where Tsunoda came across the line, took the checkered flag, in the end 4.5 seconds clear of Marino Sato. And that enough to elevate Yuki Tsunoda up to 3rd in the championship standings. Marino Sato, though, leading the way. Job done for Team Motor Park, doing the double in Hockenheim.
Yuki Tsunoda win here at Hockenheim in race 2, your first win of the year. You must be happy.
Yes, long time no win from last year, and yeah, I have good pace from Poricard, but I mistake start and others I can win race. So yeah, for today I really focus on start and just that, yeah. And I have confidence on my pace, so yes, just do my driving.
And once you took the lead, you felt comfortable?
Yeah, I have confidence in my pace, so yeah. I know the Liam is fast, but I'm more faster than him. So yeah, like I said, I just do my driving and no mistakes until checker flag.
And now the championship is reopened.
Yeah, I need to win from now on. We can do like mass race like for Poricard and Paul. So I will more focus for next race.
Well done, congratulations, all the best.
So as the lights went out, it was Marino Sato who took the advantage as the field went towards turn 1, with Yuki Tsunoda slotting into 2nd place ahead of Liam Lawson. It's the hairpin at turn 6 that would provide the source of much of the drama in the race. And on lap 1, it was Aldo Festante and Christian Hahn coming together. That scattered Jack Doohan and it delayed Cameron Dass. Linus Lundqvist, another early casualty as his front wing got ripped away as he ran wide coming out the final corner. Meanwhile, Yuki Tsunoda was able to slip ahead of Marino Sato, as was Liam Lawson. This is the move from Lawson to the inside of Sato. 2 laps in a row, Sato conceded at the turn 6 hairpin, as behind Jack Doohan's recovery drive through the field was spectacular. That's a space of 3 laps, Doohan able to climb up through into 7th place. It was the hairpin that was to provide a happy hunting ground for Doohan. Let's move on. Callum Williams enough to release Doohan. For Yuki Tsunoda, however, it was a very, very fine performance. Once he was in the lead, he was untroubled. So he took the win from championship leader Marino Sato, and Julian Hans says to complete the rostrum. So a clean sweep for Team Motorpark. And for Julian Hans says, fine drive under a lot of pressure from Lucas Dunner throughout the course of the race. Runner-up Marino Sato. He didn't quite win this one from pole position, but it's been a very good weekend for Sato. 2 pole positions, a race victory and a 2nd position. For Yuki Tsunoda, though, a dominant race in the event. The win and the fastest lap, his first trip to the top step of the podium in 2019. And Team Motorpark celebrating their 2nd win of the weekend. The Japanese national anthem in honour of Yuki Tsunoda, the winner of the 6th race of the Euroformula Open season. 3rd position for Julian Hanses. Hard-fought race for him. A lot of pressure throughout from Lucas Dunner. Marino Sato, runner-up. And race winner, Yuki Tsunoda. Big grin from our race winner, rightly so. And Team Motorpark celebrating another successful weekend. For Yuki Tsunoda, not just the race win, of course, the rookie victory as well. As the drivers enjoy posing for the photos, Julian Hans says, good foot or more taller than his teammates. They're going to make merry with the champagne. Marino Sato celebrating a job well done as he leads the championship heading towards Spa-Francorchamps in a fortnight's time. Yuki Tsunoda, though, very much in the mix, and 3 happy drivers. So on to the rookie rostrum, and Nikolai Kiergaard taking advantage possibly of some of the early dramas to move up into 6th place, and 3rd rookie Liam Lawson then. Been a slightly frustrating weekend for Lawson. Another in-race spin, costing him a shot at the podium. This time from 2nd place. And Yuki Tsunoda finishing as the top rookie. It's Nikolai Kiergaard for Carlin to the third step of the podium. And then once more for Team Motorpark, the top 2 places in the rookie trophy as well. Runner-up Liam Lawson. And Yuki Tsunoda, the race winner and top rookie. And the rookie championship is going to be, I think, as close as the overall championship this year. So the third place for Kiergaard. And the Carlin team at the foot of the podium giving him a big cheer. Liam Lawson, frustrating weekend, but he's still got good points. He's still very much in the championship hunt. There's a lot of racing to go this year. And Yuki Tsunoda celebrating the victory in the rookie trophy. So we will be back in action in the Euroformula Open in 2 weeks' time in Spa-Francorchamps, a circuit that always produces great racing in the championship. We'll see you there. Until then, it's goodbye from Hockenheim.